So I didn't think I would have to come across another one of these type of articles, but you know, being it so that we're in the climate that we're in with this coronavirus, COVID 19, and different variants, and fear, and the anger, and the political drama that's out there, yet another incident occurs, and this comes as no surprise. So, a Tennessee man stabs a man and wields bats in a mask dispute. And so, this mask thing has really gotten people really heated. And so, I have seen personally where they have people who are calling themselves anti maskers. There was a woman who, earlier on in the pandemic, I believe it was in 2020, she went around in stores giving people little cut off leaflets and pretty much telling them to exercise their rights, and that wearing a mask was against their rights, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So and then I've seen some stories where people have gotten attacked for either not wearing a mask or wearing a mask, either or. So Nashville, Tennessee. This is out of Associated Press. A Tennessee man is accused of stabbing a man with whom he got into an argument over not wearing a mask, and later swinging two metal baseball bats at police officers, according to the police documents. So this is a Metro Nashville police affidavit, says that Jerry Cowan, 53 years of age, began arguing with another man outside of his apartment complex early Sunday because Cowan was not wearing a mask. And so this can happen with neighbors. So Cowan allegedly pulled out a pocket knife and a long blade with a makeshift wooden handle and stabbed the other man in his arm and near his chin, according to the affidavit. So the victim escaped into a nearby residence, called police. The records have showed. So investigators wrote that Cowan retreated into his home, and responding officers heard the metallic object hitting the back of the door twice. The Tennessean reported, citing the affidavit. So officers buzzed down the door and found Cowan holding metal baseball bats in each hand. He swung the bats towards the officers and ran away. The document stated officers repeatedly told Cowan to drop the bats and later used a stun gun on him multiple times and took him into custody. So Cowan was charged with resisting arrest and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Arrest records have shown this. So he was being held in jail Sunday afternoon on a $76,000 bond. So it was not immediately clear whether Cowan had an attorney who could comment for him. So this is a nice short article. Well, it's not a nice article, and the situation's not nice, but in terms of the length of the article, it's short and concise. And so there's what I presume there's going to be a lot of these incidences that are going to take place, and even in the near future, they present uh, like domestic disputes, neighbor disputes over mask wearing, over various events that have to do with the pandemic. Even people being in buildings with people who are maybe bad neighbors. It could be multiple disputes, things that'll take place. I would say a lot of lawsuits, maybe a lot of people that might end up, such as Cowan, arrested for committing crimes of violence towards neighbors and whatnot, for various things, incidences that all stem from this pandemic. And so the environment has been very tense. Um, it's almost as if you don't even really want to go too many places because you don't want to encounter people like this, because you can feel the tension in the air. In some places, it's really thick. So, having said this, I'm going to let this particular article go, but I fear that there's going to be more incidences of this type of violence that we're going to see in the coming future, simply because of the way things are, just generally. Um, people are really hard pressed for money, food, uh, maybe a place to stay. Maybe they're living on their savings or they've exhausted their savings. So a lot of anger, there's a lot of fear, surrounding this virus and the viruses that are coming out along with it, associated with it, the uncertainty of these vaccines, the protests, a lot of the stress, and then some people are just fatigued about all of this, and then people are not trusting of, if it isn't not trusting of law enforcement, they're not trusting of political figures for various reasons. Just a really mixed bag of a lot of chaos. But anyway, without further ado, I will let this go. But this is not something that I don't think will not be happening. Um, this is this might be an ugly trend that may be coming that we'll see a lot more of, unfortunately. Thanks for listening.